We are talking about Randy Matthews today. And some may have heard that name before. He's certainly a pioneer in Christian music and one of the first that came under that genre of Jesus music that we've talked about over the weeks here. And I was surprised when reading up a few things to get ready for today. He's actually got some roots in Southern gospel music, and I don't know if I knew he had that much relationship to that sort of thing. Ends up his dad is one of the founding members of the Jordanaires.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, I think that wasn't the Jordanaires one of the groups that was considered with that sang once in a while with Elvis Presley.
Oh, he seems to have sung with everybody.
Yeah.
He just talked about Milo and Pepper.
Right, that's true too.
With Elvis.
So, and then ends up that Randy himself was in a Southern gospel group himself called the Zionaires, and did that like right around the time of high school and so. And then kind of stayed out of the business for a little bit, and then when he came back, it kind of went toward kind of a folk kind of sound, and then eventually into Jesus music by around the time that that got birthed, around 69, 68 that we've talked about before. And he was one of the artists that was actually in the Explo 72 that we've talked about before as well.
Didn't know that. But, it's funny, when I saw Randy Matthews, I had to look it up on the internet to find out a little bit about him, because I leave that to you to explain to me, but I thought, I was talking to Dave Whitaker yesterday, and I said, wait a minute, I may be wrong, didn't he write the theme to Toy Story? And we're not talking the same Randy, are we? No, that's Randy. So, okay.
Same first name though.
Yeah, but I was way off.
In fact, he was one of the artists, we've talked about this in weeks past too, that he was one of the first artists that was signed to Myrrh Records when they did that offshoot of Word Records back around 72 or so. And he was one of the first ones that kind of jumped over from the actual Word label to the Myrrh label when they started that one essentially to birth what we now know as CCM Music.
Now, does he still perform today? I mean, he started when? You said 69 or so?
Yeah, he started around with signing with Word, at least at first, I think around 71 or so, and then they moved him over to the Myrrh label once Myrrh started in 72. So he did at least one record probably on the Word label itself, and then everything else after that around 72 was in Myrrh in those early days.
Well, it's funny because I really was not introduced to contemporary Christian music until, say, like 1980, 81. And Randy Matthews is one, I never heard of him prior to you and I talking about him. Now, I recognize the name. Now, I don't know why I recognize the name, because we never played him when we were together at radio. And it's just the music is great.
Yeah, he's rather unique as well. I did notice his very first release was entitled "I Wish We'd All Been Ready." So obviously he's got some kind of ties and something to Larry Norman. I'm not sure if they ever did perform together, but obviously he knows his music since he's got the title track on his first record as the Larry Norman cover, most likely with that name.
I have a feeling I will follow up Randy Matthews with that song by Larry Norman.
Well, there you go.
Because you brought it up.
And nowadays it looks like he's doing looks like a little bit of kids music actually, at least as recent ago as like 2008 or so. Looks like he's doing some kids stuff with a release called Redbeard Pirate King. And I think he actually is known as Redbeard with some of his more recent things he's been doing. So I think it's some kind of kids music that he's doing more nowadays. But I don't know if he does some of both at this point or not. It doesn't really get me that close to 2018, but this one lists as 2008 as the kids release called Redbeard Pirate King.
Well, what song are we playing today by Randy Matthews?
We are doing a song called Didn't He? And I first found out about this song. I had a friend of mine that came to one of the Christian youth camps that I was helping at as a counselor back around 86 or so, and my friend sang Didn't He as one of the songs that he did for the teen camp at that point. And then I later found out that it came from Randy Matthews, and I think recently in the last maybe about 10 years or so, Jeff Moore and The Distance did a remake of Didn't He? But this is the original artist and the original release of it from 1972 called Didn't He? Talking about Jesus and his crucifixion and how much he loves us and did that all for us.
Excellent. All right, well, why don't we go to the song then? Randy Matthews, Didn't He? And that is today's CCM Flashback. Hey, all these names going through my head, Steve. You'll have to forgive me. I am getting older.
Me too.
But you know what? You can get older or something else.
That's true.
Get older.
That's true.
All right, Steve. We'll talk to you later on.
Sounds great, Doug.
All right.
And the hammer fell on the wooden nail, threw his flesh into the tree, and they laughed at him as he cried for them. There he hung, the faultless one. Now didn't he live, or didn't he? And didn't he give? Now didn't he? Didn't he die for you and me? Spilled his precious blood, sacrifice of love. We didn't take his life from him, he gave it willingly. Complete the prophecy. What's black is white. This wrong is right. Now didn't he live, or didn't he? Didn't he? And didn't he give? Now didn't he? Didn't he die for you and me? Bugler, blow your horn. Now the curtain's torn, and the battle's done. I know the victory's come. Drummer, you drum your drum. Broke death's chains. The lamb is slain. Now didn't he live, or didn't he? Didn't he? And didn't he give? Now didn't he? Doesn't he live, my brother, doesn't he? Doesn't he? doesn't he give, sweet sister, doesn't he? But didn't he die for you and me? But didn't he die?